It's a glorious Saturday morning here as we get to follow up on Ethereum on the very, very high term timeframes and a massively explosive move very likely coming, I do believe, in December. We'll talk about the statistics and the probabilities as to what direction that is likely to come in, as well as maybe even my own opinions. No, we'll leave that out because my opinions, they don't matter. Anyways, I want to welcome you back to the Eric Crown Crypto channel. I've been using my morning to peruse Twitter, and I found out about the latest BitBoy drama, which my fucking mom knows about as well. We are so mainstream, so fucking mainstream, it is amazing. And I even saw a video of an anaconda having a dump. Yeah, an actual dump. And it does look exactly the way that you and I do it as well. Except, you know, it had its like mouth open in this hissing matter. It was kind of bizarre, actually. Anyways, before I say more stupid shit, let's just jump right into the charts. We'll start off with Ethereum over here on the daily, looking at a volatility analysis of the daily, weekly, and monthly, and you can see that the daily did get down to extreme lows, just about 1 percentile on the actual lowest read that we did see in the past week, and that does imply that, yes, you know, this one is coiling up. The consolidation that we've been witnessing for the past, you know, week or two now is becoming extremely mature, and the daily is set to explode. Remember, anytime that volatility gets down around here or even just below 20%, I would say, you know, it is time to be on watch as far as, hey, a move is incoming. Again, not applying directionality on this move just yet. We'll get to that soon enough. But going into the weekly, we can see that this is going to be compounded by the fact that the weekly is also coming off of some of the lowest levels that it's seen in the past, in the past couple of years. And again, we have both the daily and the weekly in agreement with each other, and we'll just take it one step further on top of that. And the monthly is literally at the lowest level that it's ever been ever. With the month of November, we did see a 0 percentile read. So we see daily, weekly, monthly all kind of lining up with each other. Very, very high term timeframes acting in confluence with each other does imply that, yes, the result from this is going to be extraordinary, or, you know, it's going to be pretty damn big is what I'm trying to say. The last time we saw volatility this low on the monthly was actually in December of 2021. That was obviously marking the prior high, or, you know, the current all-time high. Before that, you know, I guess it was like how big of a dump Ola was this? I'm actually curious. Bigger than that snake, I'll tell you that. It was pretty weak dumps, I will say. 80%, pretty fucking good. Well, not good for the boolaws there, obviously. But yeah, going back into the daily, we can talk a little bit about directionality right here. HPDRO, which does represent volatility, directional volatility is what I'm actually trying to say. Has come back down for a full-on reset. Yes, it is slightly favoring, I'd say, the upside as of right now, but I really want to see that first major tick with the moving average, putting it in a very concentrated direction. But here's the thing. When we see volatility contract as it has into what has been higher lows, while directional volatility resets, that is a continuation setup. Doesn't mean it's always going to continue, but the probability is on the same side as that, as well as just the trend. And that is what I put a lot of faith in, is trend. Trend is something that I do put a shit ton of of weight on, obviously, as it's either the most important or tied for the most important thing, in my opinion, at least as far as my theory goes, as to how price action operates. So trend in this case is obviously going to be the upside. Just put in another higher low right here at 2030. Going to be favoring the upside resolution from that. Of course, I would switch around and be very bearish on Ethereum, maybe even calling it the biggest bull trap of all time, if it did start to trade below about 1930. But for right now, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly are all looking like they're kind of primed here. The monthly is actually a particular interest just because the monthly has been, if we go and reference this chart over here, the monthly has been, for the past year and a half now, setting in these slew of higher lows. And this was kind of how we were judging the last few months of price action coming off of September, October, saying, hey, this would be a great place for Ethereum if it is going to be indeed bullish, for it to put in another higher low and work its way to the upside, even playing out the LARP line, which so far so good. But before we were saying, hey, it's probably not ready yet. It's probably, you know, still going to be range bound generally as far as the macro goes. Now I would say Ethereum is ready. And whether it's December, I think this next week is actually quite likely, or maybe January. This one is set to move. And again, as long as it is above 1930, I'm going to be favoring the upside right here. We can also go look at the weekly HPDR band ranges, and we can see that the top side of the 50% of historic returns range highs is actually about 2160, 2170-ish region. Any sort of a closure above there, and this one can have a really explosive move, throughout December and January. I'd say at minimum 2,500. I think that's like minimum, but realistically, I should revise that to 2,800, and maybe even as much as low 3,000s, like 3,200. So a nice range of areas there between about 28 to 32. If it were to take out 1930 to the downside, I guess I'd be looking for a correction south of 1,700. And then come back to it after that. I don't think that's what's happening here, but that would be my criteria for that. Anyways, we can go back into our other chart over here, and just speaking a little bit more bluntly about, likelihood of direction. Not only do we see trend, not only do we see directional volatility, but also on the monthly right here, we do see that for the first time, basically since Ethereum, really started to get into this dump-ola party, we are seeing all major moving averages switch into a bullish posturing with the advent of December. Technically not confirmed just yet, but will be confirmed at the end of this month, barring any sort of a major dump below like 1850 basically. And that is that cyan moving average, which is a 9 exponential, is moving above the yellow 21. So we're having all lower periods above higher periods now, 9, 21, 55. When these start to diverge, that's when you have your bull markets, or your bull market is realistically when price action is riding that cyan moving average, the 9 exponential, which it actually seems to respect incredibly well for Ethereum. Anytime that's broken it, that's been it. That's been all she wrote. And anytime it's gotten above, we're so back, I guess. So in this case, looking like it's back. Anyways, we can now move on, and I want to talk a little bit more about the more near term, the very, very near term, that is. Let me just reference how much. Yeah, okay, we got plenty of time here. We're good. We can talk about the hourly oracle right here. Let me just get rid of the daily range stats. We'll just talk about this as it is, and we see that the hourly has actually been pretty damn active throughout this current consolidation. It's actually been pretty decent. I will say it wasn't. Caught the big trendy moves, actually having some small gains throughout the sideways consolidations. Not bad. Anyways, what I wanted to point out here is that it is actually long as of this last movement. Yet again, now an hourly isn't going to be like anything super crazy. Let's see, maybe like a higher term time frame, like a 12-hour has something. Let's see. 12-hour time frame is actually long as well, and remaining long, especially as long as it's above about 2,000. 6-hour time frame, let's see. This one, I think, probably a little bit more choppy, but yeah, also suggesting upside more likely here as well. Again, this indicator has been pretty good at catching the trendy moves. When things do trade sideways, it does well in the lower term timeframes, well in the higher term timeframes, but not well in the medium term timeframes, like the 4-6 hour timeframes. So like hourly and below, and then also like 12 and above. That seems to be its sweet spot, at least from what I can tell after referencing this for a while. We can also go ahead and check out the daily range statistics, or just the daily statistics. Today is Saturday, obviously, so out of all of the daily closures, or just days, for Ethereum, 43.75% have been closing negatively, with an average negative return for the for those negative days at negative 1.61, and in the case that it does actually close to the upside, an average return of 1.38. What does that say? Well, Saturday is certainly the least volatile day, so going sideways here for Saturday, probably likely. Sunday, a little bit more likely we actually see some action, but Monday and Wednesday are the most volatile days. Actually, Wednesday and Thursday are the most volatile days for this one, with Tuesday being the most likely to be closing positively. Anyways, I should, as always, let you know where you can find this indicator, which you can use on any asset, by the way. That is in the Chart Prime package. It basically includes everything. I think they just added a few more, or at least they're in the process of adding a few more in this next day or two. And then there's going to be even more added to that over time. Your price won't change for it. I'm literally just wanting to make it like the biggest indicator package, packed with all the fucking value that I can pack in there. Just fucking smash it back down with all my shit. And so you can get the Jewel Light there, you can get this indicator there, you can get the Oracle Pro there. You're going to see a lot of other ones pop up there. It might even already be there, like I said, but just reference their page. It'll explain everything that's in there. And there's a bunch of other indicators as well. Most of them I actually don't use, but these ones I have found some value in, so I like to use them, and more to come. Definitely the ones that I'm, giving them ideas for now, I'm really, really excited about, but that'll probably take another week or two, I suspect, to really put in there. So yes, that's where I'll leave things off. Yeah, that's a good place to leave things off. As always, want to wish you the best of the best. It's been a nice little Saturday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. And I'll be back on tomorrow talking about some more price action analysis. I'm considering doing a more long-term video for Bitcoin, but we'll see where things are at. I expect we probably don't see too much. Just, while we are on the topic of Bitcoin, I should say that Bitcoin on CME did have the highest closure that we've seen this year, even like the last year and a half now. On CME did close above $39,000. Fair enough. I think that's a good place to leave it off. All right. As always, I'd like to wish you the best. Take care. Much love. I'm going to get back to Baldur's Gate 3. And with that said, see you hopefully tomorrow.